What's up, guys and girls? It's Will here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about one of the biggest misconceptions out there in terms of like money and like what you should have with it and how it affects you and your success with girls. And specifically, we're going to be talking about cell phones. Now, looking back in my life, I had some pretty crappy cell phones, and I firmly believe that if you have a standardized phone or if you have the latest in technology, none of that is going to be a factor at all to any girls you actually want to date. Occasionally you'll run into some superficial girl who it may be a problem for, but even then it's such a rare thing. I mean, I find it astonishing how little anyone really looks at someone else's phone. It's really funny because throughout my high school and middle school, I had really crappy phones, and everyone else had the latest technology. I don't even know why. Maybe it was because everyone else was rich. God knows they didn't look rich, but maybe they all just allocated most of their money to buy the newest technology in phones, and that meant iPhones, that meant Samsung Galaxy X3s, and those are the current like top level phones nowadays. And it's really funny because as of today, I'm going to be upgraded from my crappy standard phone, this one, which I love. I mean, there's really no problem with it, to the latest iPhone model out, which is the iPhone 5S. I had the option of the 5C, but apparently it's worse, so I went with the 5S. And quite honestly, I was a little aggravated about the whole thing because I really didn't really want to upgrade my phone because I knew it had no impact on anything. It wouldn't make me happier. It wouldn't make me anything, other than the fact that, okay, now I have a better phone. And this is like the sort of mentality that certain successful people have, like Warren Buffett, for instance, one of the richest people in the world, the top billionaires in the world. He drives a second-hand car, wears second-hand business clothing, lives in a very like moderately sized house that costs like $34,000 or something, and this is one of the richest people in the world. Whereas you got millionaires like Chris Brown, who's spending all their money on cars. I mean, I think Chris Brown has like 10 like automobiles now, and half of them or most of them are like Maseratis or Ferraris, stuff like that. And then you got Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, both men who live very minimal lives, and yet they could probably, if they wanted to, buy like 10,000 times the amount of cars that Chris Brown could afford. And I really think this is the best way to live. You really don't need that much, and it's not even about that. When I'm talking to girls and on my campus, as like in high school and middle school, everyone, like almost everyone, has an iPhone. They all have the freaking iPhone, so it's not really so much as standing out anymore. It's really just like fitting in. And the thing is, like, since everyone has iPhones, like literally everyone, like if I were to go up to someone random on the street, guarantee you 9.9 times out of 10 he'd have an iPhone. And the thing is, I've talked to girls, and a lot of them, and I guarantee you, I've brought up the fact that this is my phone. It really has no freaking influence on the conversation at all. And really, the only sort of influence that really matters, at least from grade school up until college, is probably just how you present yourself, your hygiene, your looks, your confidence, your personality, if you have stuff in common, and that's special something something six factor that's intangible, but some people like to call game. And all these things sort of come together, and that's really all that really matters, um, in order for a girl to like you or not. And I mean, I remember just the other day, like I brought up the fact that I had a standard phone in conversation on purpose, and the girl was talking about how she had like she was talking about how crappy her Galaxy S4 was, which is like the latest and greatest model, and it had no impact whatsoever. I mean, why would you want it to anyways? Like, who would want to date a girl who's so superficial that they just judge people based off of their phones? I mean, it's so stupid. And yeah, that's why I have never really gone on with the fad of like catching up with whatever is the buzz, as of the current moment. And that's the same thing with phones. Like, looking back in my life, there are instances where, like, for instance, in high school, I had to use my mom's pink, like, razor phone. It was like those really thin razor phones, but it was pink, and it was outdated. The iPhones had just come up, and back then I thought differently, completely differently. So I was embarrassed about it, and I remember one time, there's multiple instances, but there's this one occurrence where someone saw my phone and straight up asked me, "Is your phone pink?" And I was just so embarrassed and just so taken aback that I didn't say a thing other than, "Yeah, it is." And just by the whole point that I had said, "Yeah, it is," and he misinterpreted that, and he thought I was saying it in like a confident way, when really I was just like saying it in an embarrassed way. And because of that, he responded with, "Dang, that's so badass." And that was amazing, because this guy was really cool. He was super confident, and he had swag, he had fashion down, and yeah, just by me saying that, he responded in a good, positive light. Granted, it was done unintentionally, and he sort of misinterpreted it as confidence rather than me being embarrassed about it. And looking back, there's so many instances similar to this where really the insecurity, it resided in myself, whereas in reality, like, if had I just owned it and said, "Yeah, I got this pink phone, I love it, I'm borrowing it from my mom," I don't even have to use the excuse or even mention that I borrowed it from my mom. I could have just been like, "You know what? I love this phone. I got it myself, and I chose it to be pink because I'm badass. I'm not gay. I'm straight, and that's what I like to do." And it's really just about being confident and owning it, and that's really what matters. And there's all these people who are caught up in like the latest craze, and it really does them no good. Like, they see no difference in their results otherwise. Like, there's a ton of people with like the best phone, and they're sitting there with no girlfriends, just playing video games in their room, which there's nothing wrong about, but you know, what can I say? So the whole story behind this is just own it and work on it. There's two fads I remember back in the day where I kind of sort of never really got into, and those are huge stories for another time. But long story short, there's the whole Live Strong campaign, and that was a time where everyone bought the yellow Live Strong bracelets. And then there's another instance where everyone bought like iPods, and I never really got into that. And quite honestly, like, it really didn't matter that much. Like, sure, everyone wanted it. Most people who could afford it bought one. But really, that didn't change at all the fact that the people who were good with girls were good with girls. Like, it didn't matter if they had it or not. And I didn't see that difference back in the day. I thought there was some sort of correlation when there wasn't. And yeah, it's the same thing now. So, long story short, okay, I'm getting an upgrade on my phone, and I really feel like in certain ways it's pointless, because like this isn't a solution. Like, I actually really miss it in certain ways. Like in certain ways I want to still have this old phone, because I mean, I know that it won't make a difference, and I actually stand out because this phone's so crappy. Well, it's not even crappy, it's touch screen and everything else, but it's definitely a lot cheaper than the latest iPhone model. And I just think it's really cool, and yeah, there's gonna be a lot of missed memories with this phone, getting girls' numbers and stuff like that, most of which flaked, but still, I got this phone, and it's gonna be missed, because having the latest iPhone is not going to change a thing, and yeah, I really don't think it has any influence at all. And here's the key phrase here: as long as you don't let it be an influence, as far as cell phones are concerned, it should not be an influence on if you do well with girls or not. And sure, there's going to be a 1 in 1,000 exception to the rule, where maybe she'll judge you based off your phone, but most of the time, even if that happens, she's doing it in like a joking way. And if she's not, I mean, who would want to hang out with someone like that anyways? But yeah, I'm getting the upgrade because it's free, and it's cheap, and my mom wants me to. But I just want you guys to keep this in mind. Rather than working on buying the new iPhone model, work on other stuff. Work on your personality. Find activities that you enjoy, and yeah. For me, I've been told this quite a lot, but I guess I need to change up my fashion and my looks a little bit. But that's a work in progress. I've been going to the gym and stuff. That's all I gotta say. I know this video was kinda scrambled, but that's kind of what happens when you do everything in one take. It sort of helps with just talking in general, because then you sort of become unfiltered, which I'm still not that good at, because you can see a lot of times I sort of stutter and pause because I sort of revise what I'm saying in my mind, because I don't want to say it like that, and it just comes off really badly. But doing stuff in one take really does just help me say stuff unfiltered, and that's why I do it. So I hope you guys like this video. Rumor touch, I'm gonna miss you guys. I'm gonna miss you. And leave a comment if you watch this whole thing. See you guys later. And as always, if you want to watch more videos, hit the subscribe button. Peace.